So, a very good morning to all, and welcome to my class. What we are going to study today? We are going to study environmental chemistry and chemistry in everyday life. So, these two are the very easy chapter, okay? And it is mainly there for scoring marks, okay? So, बहुत अच्छे score कर सकते हो इन chapters से. To try to understand this, basically, what our plan for today now we try to solve PYQ, and through PYQ, that is previous year question, we are going to understand the whole concept of this chapter, like environmental chemistry and chemistry in everyday life. Okay, so these are the very easy chapters, and every year 1 to 2 questions are generally coming from this topic. Okay, so for from the exam point of view or from the marks point of view, this is a very important chapter. So let's start with the today's session. I hope my voice is clear to everyone. I'm audible to everyone. Yeah. If you have any doubt related to any questions, or if my voice is not clear or any problem, you will, yes, beta. You will text me. Okay. So let's start with the today's session, right? Okay. And this is a very important and easy session. Okay. You have to learn the very simple questions. And by knowing this concept, you are able to solve many questions, right, related to this topic. So let's start with the today's session. Yeah. The first question is this question generally asked in 2023. Okay. Yani 2-3 months back, JEE examination 1. In this question came. Okay. What the question state that which of the following is true about the ferrons? Okay. So in this question, they are asking what is the true about the ferrons? What is ferrons, beta? Okay. So basically, as the name suggests, na ferrons. Ferrons means they are the chlorofluorocarbon compound, right? So ferrons means they are the chlorofluoro compound. So this is a memory-based question. It's a very simple. Ferron means chlorofluoro compound. So the option number one, that is option number one, is absolutely correct. They are the chemical causing skin cancer. No. These are the radical of chlorine and chlorine monoxide. No. All radicals are called ferron. No. So which one is the correct option, beta? These are the chlorofluorocarbon, right? Chlorofluorocarbon means what? CFC, right? Chlorofluorocarbon. So ferrones are the chlorofluorocarbon. Try, try to remember this, okay? Okay. Now, you have to identify the correct statement out of the following. Okay. Statement one state that an average human being consume more food than air. Is it true? Average human being consume more food than air, or we say more air than food. Which one is correct according to you guys? Yeah, tell me if any one of you know the answer correctly. Okay, let's move to the next option, please. An average human being consume nearly 15 times more food, more air than food. The next, the average human being consume equal amount of food and air. And the fourth is an average human being consume 100 times more food, more air than food. So which option is correct according to you? Yeah, I'm waiting for the responses. Hmm. According to you, which option is correct? Because this is a very simple question, right? Okay. Whether the option 4 or option 3 or option 2, because I already explained option 1 is not the correct one, because human body can't consume more food than air. Okay, so which option is correct, beta? Yes, option number 2. Option number 2 is absolutely correct. An average human being consume nearly 15 times more air than food, right? So try to remember this. Average human being consume 15 times more air as compared to the food, right? Okay. Now, what is the correct about the smoke? So in our chemistry, in our environmental chemistry, we study two different type of smoke. One is a chemical smoke. Okay, one is a classical smoke, and one is a photochemical smoke, right? Or we say London smoke or photochemical smoke. So there are the two type of smoke, and please try to learn the difference between these two also. That is what is the difference between the photochemical smoke. Basically, as the name suggests, now photochemical smoke takes place only in the presence of sunlight, where the London smoke takes place at the any time. Why? Right? Okay. And which chemical produce this smoke, and what is the cause of this? What is the health issue related to this. So please try to read this. What is the difference between the photochemical smoke and the London smoke? These are the important topic, and many time questions were coming from this topic, right? Okay. Now, in this question, let's move to this question. That is, NO2 is present in a classical smoke. Both NO2 and SO2 are present in the classical smoke, or a photochemical smoke has a high concentration of oxidizing agent, or a classical smoke also have a high concentration of oxidizing agent. देखो दोनों तो होंगे नहीं, because out of photochemical smoke and classical smoke, one has reducing nature and one is oxidizing nature, right? So both having oxidizing agent is not possible, right? So which one is the correct option, beta? Yeah. So let's note this important point regarding the photochemical smoke, right? So this is, note this point, because questions were coming directly from such topics, right? Okay, so photochemical smoke has a high concentration of the smoke oxidizing agent, where London smoke has a high concentration of reducing agent. This point must be remembered, right? Photochemical smoke has a high concentration of which? Oxidizing agent, while the London smoke has a high concentration of reducing agent. Point number one is clear? Okay, next. NO2 is produced from NO and O3 in the presence of sunlight, right? And the classical smoke contain smoke, or we say London smoke, contain smoke, fog, and SO2, and it is known as reducing smoke. And as chemically, it is reducing mixture. So, which option is correct, beta? That is option number 3. That is, photochemical smoke has a high concentration of oxidizing agent, right? Good. Clear है सबको? Okay. Now, move to the next question, beta. This is also very important question related to the biological oxygen demand. Okay. And what the question asks, the water quality of a pond was analyzed and its BOD was found to be 4. Okay. Its BOD was found to be 4. The pond has. You have to identify whether the pond is polluted or not polluted. For this, you know what is the range for the BOD, above which the water say polluted and below which the water, we have to say the water is not polluted, right? So you have to learn the range, between which range actually they act. Okay. So what the question asked, beta? BOD was found to be 4. So according to this question, in this question, BOD was given 4. Now the pond has highly polluted air, water has a high amount of fluoride compound, very clean water, or a slightly polluted water, right? So remember this point, always remember this, beta. What? Yeah, this one. That is, clean water has BOD value less than 5, while polluted water has BOD of 15 or more, right? So if someone asks if the BOD is less than 5, then what is the nature of water? Then the water is clean. Okay. Then in this case, the water is clean. But if the BOD is more than 15, if the BOD is more than 15, or we say 15, then the water become polluted. So which one is the correct option, beta? That is very clean water, because here the BOD is 4. So whenever the BOD is less than 5, then the water is clean. And the BOD is above 15 or 15, then the water is polluted. So I hope this is clear to everyone. And by using this concept or remembering this concept, definitely you are going to solve such questions when they will ask in your next examination, right? Okay. So I hope this is very clear. Yeah. Next, the next question is, some gases are responsible for heating atmosphere, right? Some gases are responsible for heating of atmosphere, that is a greenhouse effect. Identify from the following the gases species which does not cause it. Okay, so what you have to find, I give you 1 minute, just try to find out of this which will cause greenhouse effect and which does not cause greenhouse effect, because in this question, identify from the following gases species which does not cause it. So you have to identify which gas not cause greenhouse effect. Yes, I'm waiting for a response, beta. Fatafat. Okay. Yeah. Shall we proceed? Okay. Now, just remember this beta. CH4O3 and H2O cause global warming in tropospheric level. N2 does not cause global warming. So the correct option is N2. Except N2, CH4O3 and H2O. They all cause greenhouse effect. Okay. So if in any question they are asking which gases is responsible for the greenhouse effect, then what will be your answer? That is CH4, H2O, and O3. These all are responsible for the greenhouse effect, right? Remember? And why nitrogen, beta? So identify. So why nitrogen? So N2 does not cause global warming. Try to be remember this. Okay? So what is greenhouse effect basically? Can anyone explain? What is greenhouse effect? Yes. What is greenhouse effect? Yes, beta. Okay, basically, as the name suggests now, greenhouse effect is the way in which heat is trapped close to the Earth's surface by greenhouse gases. Okay, means ये gases जो हैं, that is CH4, O3, H2O, these gases trap the heat and the temperature of the Earth become increasing, and this will lead to the global warming. Okay, so these gases act as a good absorber and absorb and increase the temperature of the earth, and this will cause global warming, right? Okay beta, just remember this. Okay, chalo, shall we move to the next question? Next, in this question, two statements were given. This question is also belong to the same now. That is, we already discussed earlier about the classical smoke and the photochemical smoke. Classical smoke is reducing in nature. Photochemical smoke is oxidizing in nature. Photochemical smoke, sorry, classical smoke is also known as London smoke, right? Okay. So if you learn this point, if you understand this point, then you are able to solve such questions as well. Okay, let's read the statement number one. What they state: classical smoke occur in a cool, humid climate, and it is reducing mixture of smoke, fog, and sulfur dioxide. Is it correct? Yes. Is it correct? Definitely, it will be correct. Why? Because classical smoke occurs in a cool. I already discussed. If I'm talking about the photochemical smoke now, photochemical smoke occur in presence of sunlight. Okay, dry condition. When the sun is there in dry condition, or we say in afternoon. Okay, but if I'm talking about the classical smoke or London smoke, right? So these smoke occurs in the cool, humid climate, and it is reducing mixture of smoke, fog, and sulfur dioxide. Statement two. What statement two state that beta? Photochemical smoke has a components like ozone, nitric acid, aerolin, formaldehyde, and pen, etc. In the light of the above statement, choose the most appropriate answer in the following. So, beta, first statement is absolutely correct. You all know. We already discussed. Okay. So, statement first is absolutely correct. What about the statement number two? Photochemical smoke has a component, because we already discussed that photochemical smoke are oxidizing in nature, right? So from this fact now, oxidizing in nature, you try to learn this term, that is a photochemical smoke as a component like ozone. Ozone means oxidizing. Just try to learn this. I exactly, there is no meaning like oxidizing and ozone, but try to learn this. Okay, as oxidizing nature and having ozone, nitric acid oxide, aerolene, formaldehyde, and the pen. It means both the statement are correct. That is statement one and statement two, both statement are correct. And please note this point as well, because maybe in future questions in your next examination, some question asks that what is the composition of photochemical smoke, where pen is present in photochemical smoke or not, ozone or nitric oxide or adenine or formaldehyde and pen. Out of this, how many of present in photochemical smoke and how many of not present in photochemical smoke and all. So from every question, try to learn 3-4 concept from a single question and try to do try to think in a different way. That this time the question is this. Now, what the next time? What type of question they were basically asked? So if you learn the concept and the if you learn the concept behind the question then you are very very clear about this and easily able to solve question related to such previous year question also, right? So the both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. So these are the correct statement, right? I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, beta. Okay, so this is the correct answer now. That is a classical smoke occur in a cold, humid climate, and it is a reducing mixture of smoke, fog, and sulfur, where the photochemical smoke has a component like ozone, right? Ozone, like nitric oxide, aerolane, formaldehyde, and pen. Okay, so what is the full form of pen, beta? That is peroxytyl nitrate. Try to remember this peroxytyl nitrate, right? Peroxyacetyl nitrate. So this is the full form of pen. So try to learn this as well. Okay. Shall we proceed to the next question? Yeah. Okay. What is the next question asks? The mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinocol is an example of. बताइए बेटा जल्दी. The mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinocol is an example of. This you know because you are using in your day-to-day life in your home. You are using such things. So what is the mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinocol? Antiseptic. What is antiseptic, beta? What is basically antiseptic? Yeah, antiseptic means what is the difference between antiseptic and antibiotic? Can anyone explain? Antiseptic and antibiotic. Okay. Okay, good. Antiseptic means which applied externally. Okay, which applied externally and is basically used for the kill or stop the growth of the bacteria. Okay, and what is the antibiotic? It is taken inside. जैसे medicine लेते हैं ना antibiotics की तो अंदर लेते हैं और antiseptic means what? Which applied externally to our skin. Okay, so these are the antiseptic. ठीक है? Next is pesticides. Next is disinfectant, and the next is narcotic analgesic. Now, the mixture of chlorohexanil and terpinocol is an example of what? Yes, Peter. Explain what is the mixture of chlorohexanil and terpinocol? Yeah, I'm waiting for responses. The mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinocol is an example of. Okay. So antiseptic Dettol is in a mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinocol. Just try to remember that is antiseptic Dettol. We use Dettol now. Okay, we use Dettol as antiseptic. We use Dettol as a soap also. Okay. So antiseptic Dettol is a mixture of chlorohexanol and terpinol. Remember this na all means chlorohexanol and terpinol. Okay, so it consists of a mixture of a chlorohexanol and terpinol. Okay, so this is the mixture or this is the composition of antiseptic Dettol, right? Okay. Now, water sample is called cleanest on the basis of which one of the BOD values is given. Yes, beta. We already explained this question. We already solved this question few minutes ago only. So you have to identify the water sample is called as a cleanest on the basis of which one of the BOD values given below. That is 11 ppm, 15 ppm, 15 ppm, 3 ppm, or 21 ppm, beta. Which one is correct? Yes, please. Give me the answer. Yes, I'm waiting for response. Please try to solve this. Water sample is called cleanest on the basis of which of the following BOD? If the BOD value is greater than 5, less than 5, more than 15. क्या होता है? जल्दी बताओ. If the BOD is less than 5, then the water is then the water is clean. We know that. If the BOD is less than 5, then the water is H2O is clean. Then the water is clean. And if the BOD is greater than 15 or we say equal to 15, then the water become polluted. Then the water become polluted. So we discuss now this thing. Yeah. अब बताओ इसका आंसर क्या होगा फटाफट. Water sample is called the cleanest on the basis of which one of the following BOD value? 11, 15, 3, 21. Yes, yes, yes. 11, 15, 3, 21. देखो सामने लिख दिया है अब तो. Yes. It means clean water could have a BOD value less than 5, where a highly polluted water have a BOD value of 15 or more than 15. Right? Or we say 17 ppm लिखा है यहाँ पे. It's okay. 15 ppm को भी हम कंसीडर करके चलते हैं. राइट अभी हमने डिस्कस किया था. सो क्लीन वाटर का अपने को पता होना चाहिए था भाई. क्लीन वाटर ही तो पूछा था. तो क्लीन वाटर का कितना हो जाएगा बेटा? लेस देन 5 ppm होना चाहिए. सो आई होप आई एम वेरी मच क्लियर. ओके राइट ठीक है. चलो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे चलें. ओके in next question they were asking BOD values in ppm for a clean water A and polluted water B is expected. देखो कितनी बार क्वेश्चन आया है only BOD पे. You know this, many times questions are coming just on a one topic, that is BOD, and it is very easy to remember this topic. 5 से कम क्या होगा, 15 से ज्यादा क्या होगा, क्लीन कब होगा, पॉल्यूटेड कब होगा. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. So please learn this, and you are surprised to know for this question also you are getting 4 marks. As difficult question करते हो तो भी 4 ही मिलता है, इसको भी 4 ही मिलेगा. ओके सो इसको नहीं छोड़ना है, बहुत अच्छे से करना है इसको. राइट ओके. Now the BOD values in ppm for the clean water A and the polluted water B are expected respectively. ओके भाई BOD वैल्यू बोल दी क्लीन वाटर के लिए. अब क्लीन वाटर के लिए 5 से तो कम होता है. We know that for the clean water, the BOD value is must be less than 5. And for the polluted water, it must be greater than 15, 16, 17. Right? So, must be greater than 17. So, out of this option, A, B, C, D, which one is correct? Explain me. Which one is correct, beta? Yeah. Out of this 4 option, which option is correct? Option A, option B, option C, option D. Yeah, if I'm talking about option A, na, A is greater than 50. For clean water, A can't be greater than 50, right? If I'm considering second option, A is greater than 25. This is also not possible. For third option, A is less than 5. Yes, this is possible. A is less than 5. And B is greater than 17. This is also possible. For the polluted water, we already wrote here, that is for the polluted water, A, matlab BOD, must be greater than 15, 16 or 17. Okay, but for the clean water, BOD must be less than. So out of this 4 option, option number 3 is absolutely correct. Okay, option number 3 is absolutely correct. Right. So this is the BOD values in ppm for the clean water. Right. Okay. Shall we proceed to the next question? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here's the solution also, right? If the BOD of clean water is less than 5, we already discussed such type of questions. So I hope this become very easy for you guys. है ना? बहुत easily कर लोगे. Okay. Next question. This question is basically from chemistry in everyday life, right? So this question is from chemistry in everyday life, and in chemistry in everyday life, basically the questions are coming from the drugs name, right? So like which medicine is used for the which disease, and artificial sugar, what are the which sugar is the most sweetest, and their order for increasing the sweetness. Basically, most of the questions are directly coming from the drugs and related to this topic, that for which disease or which drugs we used, and the classification of drugs as well, right? So let's see question number 1 from the chemistry in everyday life, that is match list 1 with list 2. Okay, so this is the matching type of question, list 1 and list 2. And what the question asks, beta, basically the question number A is anti-fertility drug, tranquilizer, antihistamine, and antibiotic. And you have the match with the list number 2, that is naroxaridone, meophedrone, saladin, and ampicillin. ठीक है, तो इसमें से आपको इसको मैच करना है. तो आउट ऑफ दिस 4, which one is the correct? ठीक है, तो try to match this बेटा. Yes, yes. I'm waiting for the responses. I will give 1 30 seconds for you guys. Okay, try to match this. Okay, yeah. Okay. Good, good, good. Yes, yes. Fine. Okay. So let's discuss me. Now, anti-fertility drugs. What's the example of the anti-fertility drugs, beta? That is, this question you get to know, and you'll become surprised that this is already arranged. Okay, this is already arranged one. That is option A. For A, the correct answer is 1. For B, the correct answer is 2. For C, the correct answer is 3. And for D, the correct answer is 4. So this is already balanced, right? So which option is the correct beta? That is fourth option. Anti-fertility drugs. Example of anti-fertility drugs are norethindrone. Just like the example of tranquilizer like probimate. And the antihistamine drugs is saladin. Antibiotics is amoxicillin. Okay. So let me discuss one by one drugs with you also, because maybe some questions were coming and asking what are tranquilizer, what are anti-fertility drugs, what are antihistamine, what is antibiotic. So these questions were also coming. So what is anti-fertility drugs, beta? Anti-fertility drugs are basically used for control pregnancy. Okay, so these are the anti-fertility drugs which is used to control the pregnancy, right? If I'm talking about the tranquilizer, tranquilizer means what? If the some person if suffering, okay, if suffering from the mental disease, mental stress, okay, so for this we use which drug, beta? Tranquilizer. So try to learn this tranquilizers. What is tranquilizers, right? So if anyone asks what is tranquilizer, so basically क्या बताओगे? If the person is suffering from anxiety, that is fear, tension, agitation, disturbance of the mind, or we say to reduce the stress, we use this tranquilizer. Okay, so tranquilizer medicine are generally used to solve out the mental stress. If the person is suffering from the mental stress, tension, and anxiety, fear, tension, then we use tranquilizer, right? Is it clear to everyone what is tranquilizer and what is used? Yeah. Similar, what is antihistamine, beta? What is antihistamine? Antihistamines are basically used if person is suffering from some allergy reaction, right? Such way they have a fever, hives, conjunctive and reaction, insect bites or stings. Means when they are suffering from some allergies, then we use antihistamine drugs, right? And antibiotic, we all know antibiotic are basically applied inside in our body, and this is basically for the what are the antibiotic and antiseptic? I already discussed example with as well. ठीक है कि antibiotics and antiseptic, what is the main difference between it? So basically what is antibiotic? If someone asks what is antibiotic, then what do you say, beta? A medicine which is used for destroying bacteria. Okay, a medicine basically used for destroying bacteria and which stop the infection, or we say prevent the infection. So basically antibiotics are used for destroying bacteria and stop the growth of infection, right? So these are the main uses of these all four drugs. Anti-fertility drugs means which is used for controlling pregnancy. Tranquilizer means if the person suffering from high stress, anxiety, fear, or tension, then we use tranquilizer. And antihistamine means if person is suffering from some allergic action, then we use allergy action, then we use antihistamine. And what is antibiotic, beta? A medicine which is used for destroying bacteria and carrying infection. Okay, so This is the use of this all four types of drugs. And the example of this type of drug is for anti-fertility drugs, the example is norethindrone. For tranquilizer, the example of MAP, robromate, and the antihistamine, the name is Saldain, and for antibiotic, the name is amoxicillin. Okay, so these are the example of such type of drugs. I hope I'm clear and you understood this. Yeah. Shall we proceed? Yeah. The next question is, which of the following statement is incorrect for the antibiotics, right? So you have to identify the incorrect statement regarding antibiotic. The first one is, an antibiotic must be product of metabolism. An antibiotic is a synthetic substance produced as a structural analog of natural occurring antibiotic. An antibiotic should promote the growth or survival of microorganism, or we say an antibiotic should be effective in low concentration. Okay? So out of these four, which of the following statement is incorrect regarding antibiotic? Try to think, beta. Is an antibiotic should promote the growth or survival of microorganism? Is this correct? Antibiotics should promote the growth or survival of microorganism, or it destroy the growth and survival of microorganism. Which is likely to be correct, beta? We already discussed just last question, right? So according to you, which one is the correct option for this question? I'm waiting. Okay, right. Okay. Now, we know this is a very simple question, because we know that antibiotics should not promote growth or survival of microorganisms. Antibiotics should inhibit the growth of microbes. So this is a very simple question, right? That an antibiotic should not promote growth or survival of microorganism. Instead, antibiotics should inhibit the growth of microbes, right? So this is the correct option. Sorry, this is the incorrect option according to this question, because in this question they were asking about the incorrect for the antibiotics, right? So the incorrect statement for the antibiotic is option number 3. That is, the antibiotic should promote the growth or survival of the microorganism, right? Okay. Now, this is also very important questions, because this is also match type of question, match column 1 and column 2. So you have to match this. Beta, try to solve this. Yeah. First one is narrow spectrum antibiotic. The second is antiseptic. Third is disinfectant. And the fourth is broad spectrum antibiotic. Right. So, yeah, you have to match this. What is narrow spectrum antibiotic, beta? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yani narrow spectrum antibiotic are used against only limited pathogens like penicillin, gentamicin, ethioxine. Okay. So narrow spectrum antibiotic are used for only such limited, okay, use as a only limited pathogens, right? Antiseptic, we all know. Antiseptic we use, yeah, antiseptic antibiotic. Okay. So antiseptic we apply externally to stop or growth the bacterial action. Disinfectant, for example, we use for our house cleaning, floor cleaning. Okay, so these are called disinfectant. And the broad spectrum antibiotic. So out of these four, which one is the correct option, beta? Yes. Which one is the correct option? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the here the correct option is A. That is the narrow spectrum antibiotic. Example is penicillin. We already discussed, right? And the antiseptic is furacin. Antiseptic example of antiseptic is furacin. Disinfectant are sulfur dioxide. Try to learn this. Sulfur dioxide. Okay. So sulfur dioxide is what? This is disinfectant. Disinfectant. Just try to remember this. Okay. SO2, that is the sulfur dioxide, is disinfectant. Right. And the broad spectrum antibiotic is chlorophenicol. बेटा यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा misprint है. This is antibiotics. Right. Antibiotics, that is chlorophenicol. Okay, so these are the correct option. That is correct option for this question is A, that is remember this narrow spectrum antibiotics. Example of narrow spectrum antibiotics is penicillin. Example of antiseptic is furacin. Okay, example of antiseptic is furacin. Just remember this. Similar example of disinfectant is sulfur dioxide, right? Okay, basically furacin, furacin antiseptic we use for the skin infection. Okay, whenever you have some infection in skin, then we use this drug as well, that is a furacin. Okay, good. Many times the question was asked whether a furacin is an antiseptic. So you know that the example of antiseptic is furacin. So obvious, it is 100% that is a furacin is an antiseptic, and it is applied in the living tissue such as wound, cut, ulcer, and disease skin surfaces. Okay. So can you guess some more example of antiseptic बेटा जो तुम लोग घर पे यूज करते हो? Furacin. You all know about the beta supramycin. Yeah. Okay. So you all heard about the soframycin. That is soframycin. Okay. तो जहां भी वर्ड दिख जाए ना लास्ट में साइन, सोफ्रामाइसिन, फ्यूरासाइन, ये सब एंटीसेप्टिक है, याद रखना. ठीक है. तो सोफ्रामाइसिन ये हम लोग लगाते थे जब कुछ हमारा को लग जाता था, चोट वोट लग जाता, छिल जाता था, तो हम लोग सोफ्रामाइसिन लगाते थे ऊपर से, है ना. बचपन में सबने लगाया होगा. तो नैरो स्पेक्ट्रम एंटीबायोटिक्स के एग्जांपल पेनिसिलिन, एंड एग्जांपल फॉर द एंटीसेप्टिक इज फ्यूरासिन और वी से सोफ्रामाइसिन. सिमिलर वे में व्हाट इज द एग्जांपल ऑफ डिसइंफेक्टेंट? ओके बेटा, तो डिसइंफेक्टेंट ऑफ एग्जांपल ऑफ सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड. ठीक है. तो डिसइंफेक्टेंट, डिसइंफेक्टेंट example is sulfur dioxide. Any other you suggest beta? Out sulfur dioxide already know. Apart from this sulfur dioxide, which one we use as a disinfectant beta? Yes, we use alcohol. We use alcohol. We use formaldehyde, that is HCHO. We use formaldehyde. We use hydrogen peroxide, that is H2O2. We use OPA, that is orthopathaldehyde. So these all are the example of disinfectant, right? So these are the example of disinfectant. Now, can you guess some more example of broad spectrum antibiotics? Yeah, broad spectrum antibiotics. Broad spectrum antibiotics. Yes. What are the example of broad spectrum antibiotics? One is chloromephanicol, another is beta amoxicillin, quinolones, tetracycline. These all are the example of broad spectrum antibiotics. Right? Amoxicillin, one of the most common one, that is amoxicillin. Right? So amoxicillin हो गया, chloromephanicol हो गया. These are the example of broad spectrum antiseptic. Right? So I hope clear. और मैंने सबके 2-3 examples ही बता दिए हैं. So shall we proceed to the next question, right? Okay. Among the following compound, which one is used as an antacid? What is antacid, beta? What is antacid? Yeah. What is antacid? As the name suggests, antacid. Okay. So whenever we are suffering from the acidity, or we say when the excess of acidity is produced in our stomach, or when we feel some, acidity, or wherever amount of HCl in our stomach is more, then we use antacid. Antacid are the substance which is basically used to control the acidic nature or balance, or we say neutralize the HCl, or we say HCl in our stomach, right? So antacid is the medicine which is used for controlling the acidity. Now, what are the example of antacid? Out of these three options, ranitidine, mevpromamate, terfenadine, bromophenamine. Which one is the correct? So it's a very simple question, and it is a very famous example of antacid, that is ranitidine. We use ranitidine, Gintex. So there are many medicine which are used as a antacid, right? So one of the example of antacid is better. Antacid is ranitidine. Okay. Next is बताओ और कोई example, very, in your 10th class also, when the excess of HCl is produced in the stomach, what we do. Okay, so we know, we heard about the milk of magnesia, right? Okay, so, some more example of antacids are, yes. So some more example, like magnesium hydroxide, MgOH2. This is also known as milk of magnesia, right? Milk of magnesia. Magnesia, right? MgOH2. Some more example, beta. Aluminum hydroxide gel, that is AlOH3. Okay. So these are the example of antacid. Ranitidine, MgOH2, milk of magnesia, aluminum hydroxide, a gel. These all are the example of antacid, right? Okay. So here also, ranitidine is an example of antacid. Meprobamate is an example of tranquilizer, we already discussed. Terfenadine is an example of antihistamine. And brompheniramine is also example of antihistamine. So learn this beta. This is very, very important. Okay, not only which is antacid, ranitidine, but try to learn this as well. Example, for example, meprobamate is an example of tranquilizer. Terfenadine is an example of antihistamine, and so on. So try to learn this as well. Okay. Okay. I hope I'm clear to this question and you all have no doubt. Okay. Shall we proceed to the next question? Right. Okay. Now, in this question, which of the following artificial sweetener has the highest sweetness value in comparison to cane sugar? Okay. Which of the following artificial sweetener has the highest sweetness value in comparison to cane sugar? Okay, you have to identify aspartame, sucralose, altimame, or saccharine. Okay, so out of these four, which of the following artificial sweetener has the highest sweetness value in comparison to the cane sugar? We already know what about the cane sugar, right? We generally use cane sugar in our home. That sugar is known as cane sugar, and having formula S12, S22, and O11. So this is the cane sugar, right? But what is the problem of using this cane sugar now? Because this cane sugar decomposed to give glucose as energy plus fructose. So it produces glucose and fructose and act as a source of energy. So it will be fine. But for the diabetic patient, a person suffering from diabetic, okay, having sugar problem. So basically, diabetic patient, what is the sugar and why diabetic takes place? Because there is a increase in glucose in our blood. Okay, so for diabetic patient, cane sugar is not recommended, because if we take cane sugar, then decompose to give glucose, and excess of glucose led to the formation of sugar disease. Okay, or we say diabetic disease. So for this, we use some alternate source which provides sweetness, but do not give glucose. Okay, so these are called artificial sweetener. The sweetener which provides sweet, which provide taste, but does not give energy, but does not give glucose. Okay, so these are called artificial sweetener. So there are two type of sweetener: artificial sweetener and natural sweetener. So cane sugar is an example of natural sweetener, where the artificial sweetener were made in which they provide sweetness but do not provide glucose and fructose. Okay, so for, if I'm talking about for a healthy person, if the person like you, me, who do not have any diabetic issue or any sugar problem, then for you, which sugar is useful? A cane sugar or a artificial sugar? Then definitely natural sugar or cane sugar is useful for you because it provides glucose, fructose, and also provide energy for you. Okay, so these sugar provide energy. If I'm talking about the artificial sugar, they provide only taste. It means sweet taste, not energy. So for a healthy person, natural sugar is recommended, but in a limit way, not like you are eating so many of sugar and you say, "Ah, yes, I'm a healthy person, I can eat many sugar as I want." No, this will cause later a problem. So use in a decent way, you in a way that your body need. Okay, so let's come back to the topic, that is, which of the following artificial sweetener has the highest sweetness value in comparison to cane sugar? So aspartame, sucralose, ultimate, and saccharine. Okay, so sweetness value order with respect to cane sugar is, most is ultimate. Okay, ultimate, sucralose, and then saccharine. And सबसे कम क्या है बेटा? Aspartame. Aspartame. Okay, so remember this. Okay, अल्टीमेट. सो ऐसा कहा जाता है बेटा, अल्टीमेट जो है ना, वो क्या है, 2000 टाइम्स मोर स्वीटनेस है एज कंपेयर टू cane sugar. No, very interesting point. Ultimate produce 2000 more sweetness in taste as compared to cane sugar, as compared to 2000 times more sweet as compared to cane sugar. तो ये क्वेश्चन भी आता है भाई. So sometimes these type of questions are also coming. Ultimate is 2000 times stronger sweet in taste as compared to cane sugar. Is it true or false? Is it true? Right. If I'm talking about ultimate, okay, aspartame. So aspartame is 180 to 200 times. 180 to 200 times. 180 to 200 times more sweetness in taste as compared to cane sugar, right? So please try to learn this as well. This will also help you in your questions. Okay, shall we proceed to the next question? Right. Now, in this question, which one of the following chemical is responsible for the production of HCl in the stomach, leading to irritation and pain? आपको बताना है, out of this four option, the option number 1, 2, 3, and 4, which one of the following chemical is responsible for the production of HCl in the stomach, leading to irritation and pain? Leading to irritation and pain, जिसके चलते हमें पेन में पेन हो रहा है, इरिटेशन जलन हो रही है. तो which one of the following chemical is responsible for the production of HCl, बेटा? Yes. Yes. Answer, बेटा. Try to solve this. Okay. Let me discuss. That is, histamine stimulate the secretion of HCl. Yani which secrete the HCl, beta? That is, histamine stimulate the secretion of HCl. And this is the structure of histamine, right? So this is the structure of histamine, and histamine is responsible to stimulate the secretion of HCl. So which option is correct, beta? That is option number 2, histamine. Okay, so histamine is responsible for the secretion of HCl, right? Okay, now the following molecule act as antidepressant. So what is the name? Name is given na, bromophenamine. We already discussed about this. What is bromophenamine? Okay, in our previous question, like this one. This is bromophenamine act as a antihistamine. So बिल्कुल वरीड मत रहो कि ऐसे स्ट्रक्चर आ गया तो व्हाट वी डू. Name is also given, right? So for structure as well as name is also provided behind every structure. So if you remember the name also, na, you can able to identify which type of drug is it, whether it is an antiseptic, antibacterial, antidepressant, or antihistamine. So bromophenamine is example of antihistamine, right? So bromophenamine is an antihistamine drug. So this is an example of antihistamine. I hope, is it clear to everyone? Yeah. This question will ask in J 2022. If you spoil a chemical toilet cleaning liquid on your hand, if you spoil a, करना नहीं कभी, if you spoil a chemical toilet cleaning liquid on your hand, your first aid would be, पहला step क्या होगा, first aid क्या होगा भाई तुरंत उस समय तुम्हारा, कोई अगर केमिकल, if I'm talking about the chemical toilet like chemical toilet like HCl, they having H2SO4, some acids are used now. So for toilet cleaning liquid on your hand, your first aid would be the aqueous NaOH, aqueous NaCO3, aqueous NH3 or vinegar. Yes, beta. Yeah, this is the easiest question. Try to solve this. If you spill a chemical toilet cleaning liquid on your hand, your first aid would be aqueous NaOH, aqueous NaHCO3, aqueous NH3, or vinegar. Yeah, yes. Or we can say aqueous NaHCO3 is used for the first aid because NaHCO3 is basic and not harmful. Where NaOH, we can't apply NaOH directly to the skin because it is a, it is a corrosive in nature. NaOH is well. So aqueous NaCO3, that is a sodium hydrogen carbonate, is used as the first state, and NaCO3 is a basic and it's not harmful. I hope is it clear? Okay. Now again, the mechanism of action of terrafedin, that is saladin. We already discussed what kind of purpose saladin use, beta. Yeah, we already discussed in a previous question. Okay, so what is the mechanism of action of terfenadine saladin is first, activate the histamine receptor, help in the secretion of histamine, inhibit the secretion of histamine, or inhibit the action of histamine to the receptor. So what is the, what is histamine now? We already discussed about histamine. So whenever the allergy action is problem, allergy action is caused, then we use antihistamine drugs. So what is the mechanism action of terfenadine, or we say saladin? It activates the histamine receptor, help in the secretion of histamine, inhibit the secretion of histamine, or inhibit the action of histamine receptor. So saladin is an antihistamine drug that has an inhibitory action on the histamine receptor. Okay, which has an inhibitory action on the histamine receptor. So which one is the correct? That is, yeah, that is option number D. Okay, so saladin is an antihistamine drug and that has inhibit the action or histamine receptor. I hope is it clear? Right. Okay. So we discussed these all question. Okay. So these are the main important question for your examination point of view. Okay. Let me tell one thing. If I'm talking about this chapter now, that is chemistry in everyday life, right? Chemistry in everyday life, chemistry in everyday life, and one is environmental chemistry. Environmental chemistry. Out of these two chapters now, definitely one questions were coming from each chapter. That is 1 plus 1, it will become 2. Or many times two questions, when the sometimes it also happen that is two questions were coming from the same chapter, that is everyday life or environmental chemistry. So for you, for 2 to 3 questions, what you need to study, okay, what you need to study for this 2 to 3 question, right? So for this what you try to focus is, just do not complete chapter, right? Just do this topic which I already discussed today, right? I am discussing about for example, in talking about environmental chemistry, questions were generally coming from the BOD. Okay, questions are generally coming from the BOD. Questions are generally coming from the difference between the photochemical smoke and the London smoke. Which one is oxidizing nature, which one is reducing nature. So these are the very important topic for the environmental chemistry, right? So for environmental chemistry, these are the important topics, right? Okay. If I'm talking about the chemistry in everyday life, then the questions generally coming from the types of drugs we use for the different disease. For just try to learn 5 to 6 disease, like which drug is used for the antihistamine, which drug is used for the tranquilizer, which drug is used for the antacid, which drug is used for the anti-fertility. So these questions were coming directly, and if you know the example of such drugs now, then you can easily solve this question. So this question is not very big or need some depth concept. Just by knowing some or remembering some name or example of the particular drug now, you can able to solve these questions, right? So these two chapters are very important in terms of what? In terms of scoring good marks better. Because these two chapter give you 12 to 8 marks, right? If they give you 12 to 8 marks, then it will really help you in your rank improvement, or we say it really help you in your rank decider. Because these 8 to 12 marks are very easy to take. I'm not saying you just go and learn all the points related to this chapter. No, only selected one. That is, I already discussed now every previous year question. These are the 4 5 year previous year questions including, and only these type of questions are regularly they are asking every year. So you got the idea of what kind of question they were generally asking. Okay, so if you know the type of question they were asking, and you also know, I already discussed about the some more important concept behind this and which point you should remember. So for this, if you do this now, you can easily solve 2 to 3 question very easy. Okay, many student do one mistake ना, they छोड़ देते हैं इस chapters को कि नहीं चलो everyday life छोड़ दें, environmental chemistry छोड़ दो, उसको कर लेंगे. But this is the biggest mistake, because these chapters are very easy, and try to take this 8 to 12 marks from this chapter, because you have what you have to give now, just give 1 hour, 1 hour for each chapter, and you are able to get the 12 marks. So it is a very easy task to get 8 to 12 marks from this chapter. So I hope I am very much clear for this. And we today class is we are we are making all questions in a very good way. That is what type of question they're basically asking for last 4 to 5 years. We're trying to solve all these questions. So I hope everyone so understood this concept, and there is no doubt. Okay, so please try to learn this and watch this, and try to solve as much question as you can. Once start you solving this question now, the problem is solved, and you are easily on the way of success and getting good marks, right? Okay, so let's summarize today class with this. So basically, to what we covered today, now we covered 2 chapters, that is chemistry and material life and environmental chemistry. What are the mode through which we cover today class? That is through PYQ. Through PYQ, I'm explaining the concept whenever the concept is needed, and we cover all types of questions generally asked in 4 to 5 years. So this is all about the today class we all discussed. Okay, so prepare well, and let's meet in the next class where we uh, come with the new chapters and try to solve as many as PYQ and concept behind this. Okay, so let's meet on the next class. Till take care, bye, and just focus on the study. Okay, okay.